What's up, YouTube? It's a pretty depressing time for Standard players at the moment. We're off the back of the latest Standard Spotlight, and if you paid attention to it, you would know that our VV Cauldron Overlord is absolutely dominating the game. Though it didn't win, it was snubbed by Mono Red Aggro. VV started out as a third of the meta on day one, before going to half, before going to nearly 3/4 by the very end. It was an absolute drubbing if you were not playing VV Cauldron. So, with that in mind, the meta is completely warped around arguably the only tier 1 deck in the format. There is an opportunity though. Now, if you've had a look at the play rates of the most popular decks right now, unsurprisingly, you're going to see VV Cauldron at the top. But the second and third decks are going to be Dimir Midrange, which is generally universally popular, and Azorius Control. Now, what if I were to tell you there is a deck that can handle all three of these matchups in a positive win rate way? Well, I did some brewing, and I think I have cracked it. This is Boros Caretaker. Now, if you've played Caretaker's Talent before, Caretaker's Talent being the centerpiece of this deck, this is a red-white, go-wide deck. Now, why am I so confident that this can handle the three decks I just mentioned? Well, it has several different game plans. First and foremost, let's focus on its arguable best matchup. Dimir Midrange, the second most popular deck in the format, really struggles against go-wide decks. Historically, when you wanted to beat Dimir, you would always be playing cards that could get around their 1-for-1 spot removal and also block their creatures to stop them from getting triggers with Kaito and Enduring Curiosity. Caretaker has historically been a really good deck into this, so bringing it back really, just by default, gives you good parity against that matchup. Next, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Izzet Cauldron. How are we beating Izzet Cauldron? Well, we run a playset of High Noon. This is a 4/of 2-mana enchantment that stops your opponent from casting more than one spell. You might remember this card being particularly playable against Corey Steelcutter. Some people would call you arguably crazy for running this in your main board. Generally, this has been a sideboard card. You bring it into the right matchup. However, I would argue the meta is so polarized right now that High Noon absolutely has a place in the format. In addition, this deck is really good at playing through the perceived drawback of this card. This isn't really a problem for this deck when you have so many ways to activate abilities in the deck. So I'm talking about Mazemind Tome, for example, Carrot Cake, Fountain Port, which is one of the best cards in the deck. Basically, you can play through High Noon, and later on in the game, you can even throw it away to deal 5 damage to your opponent. This is actually how we beat Azorius Control, because this deck doubles as a burn deck in the very slow matchups. Over the course of the game, you're going to play High Noons and sacrifice them to your opponent. Azorius Control doesn't really run much life gain at the moment. Lightning Helix is also in the deck to help you outlast them. And you've also got Elspeth on the top end. If you manage to get it to the board, this can be a really difficult deck for these Azorius decks to deal with. Sans Get Lost. Beyond that, the heart and soul of the deck, in this particular Caretaker's Talent variant, is United Battlefront. This is a white 4-mana sorcery that is able to bring in 2 of your 3-mana or less non-creature, non-land permanents onto the battlefield. As you'll see here, we have Caretaker's Talent itself. We also have Windcrag Siege, which is a really powerful, bit of a wild card in this deck. The Goblin army that you can create with this absolutely overcomes the control matchup, as well as Dimir. It also makes lifelink tokens, which can be used to help sustain you in aggressive matchups. We can also find Mazemind Tome, High Noon, Carrot Cake, and Seam Rip, which is another really great new Edge of Eternities card we got. Over in the sideboard, we have a few more targets we can hit. We run Authority of the Consoles. We run Beezer as an anti-aggro staple. We have the White Overlord to give us extra matchup against Dimir. We also run Banishing Light, interestingly enough. This is a bit of a downgraded card over the years, but works really well in a deck that can tutor it, such as with United Battlefront. We also run Ultima as sort of our break in case of emergency glass sweeper, because one of the deck's blind spots in game 1 is big creature decks. Ultima lets us get around that to a degree. But yeah, all in all, this deck plays very control-like with a bit of a late-game plan. It has an incredible amount of survivability. There are so many ways to gain life in this deck, and also so many ways to block. There is not much trample going around in the format at the moment, with Monstrous Rage having rotated out, so I think it is very well positioned. I've got some games against Izzet Cauldron and Dimir Midrange just to show off kind of what it can do. I also started playing this deck before the season rotated, so I've got some games in Mythic. Before then, the ladder reset, and then I went back down to Plat 4 and started farming all the players, bringing out Cauldron to try and get up in the ranks quickly. Anyway, if you like more vids like this, shoot us a like, sub, see you in the next one. Alright. On the draw today, not a bad starting hand. And our opponent is a Pinkie Pie, which means we're going to get some absolutely 300% unhinged crap. I swear, there's like 2 avatars. It's like Pinkie Pie and Gandalf. If you see either of those 2 avatars, yeah, here we go. It's just dinosaurs. Like, every person who has these avatars is like cooking some nonsense up. The question is, do I Helix this thing or just Seam Rip it? I think I Seam Rip this thing. So that way we can play a land, tap safely, and also hold up some instant speed interaction. Lightning Helix is likely to whiff on a lot of targets, though. He's got that 6/6 he could potentially play. Not happening today, though. Alright, so we'll try and save Ishgard, just in case we get to use it as a draw spell. So we'll probably just run Fountain Port, and we'll just zap the Lawkeeper. I'd rather him not get mana. Another one. Alright. So here we go. United Battlefront turn. Let's not whiff, please. Oh, perfect. High Noon's less likely to get value here because they're probably going to play some big, bulky dinosaur next. So let's just Windcrag Siege Carrot Cake. That way we can also scry. We don't want to land. We got plenty in our hand. Next turn might be another United Battlefront turn anyway. Another Lawkeeper. 3 mana Dinosaur? Okay, their hand is very questionable then, if they're doing that. I won't attack yet. Alright. Ooh. Star Cage. This is probably a situation where attacking next probably would have been preferable, because Star Cage I was hoping not to take, but the tempo loss for him is probably worth Star Caging. So I think we bring in Carrot Cake just to control what we draw next. And we'll just have to accept that. Ooh, actually, hang on. No. We put the Carrot Cake trigger after Star Cage so that we'll keep a rabbit on the battlefield. And Maze Mind Tome. I think we can keep that. So the hope here now is that his hand is like balked. With no mana dorks and no lands, he's not going to be able to play an easy dinosaur. Screaming Nemesis. Alright, we'll just let him do the 3. Our deck does quite a bit of life gain, so it's probably in our interest to let him have that. We'll go Maze Mind Tome. Now we could play High Noon here, but what I actually think I want to do is Fountain Port, make a fish. The Yearling. So he can deal 3? Oh, he's just going to keep it. Alright then. In that case, we'll make a fish, and what we're probably going to do is we're going to sandbag a token into him. So the creature he blocks with the Nemesis, we're going to sacrifice to Fountain Port. Potentially. We'll see what we draw here. We just drew Elspeth, so we'll just kill Nemesis. That helps us a lot. Alright, we don't want to fall behind on tempo, so we'll play that tapped. I'm just going to swing with 1 for lifelink. He'll have to use the Yearling to kill Elspeth, which he might be able to do. He needs to play a dinosaur with high power to be able to buff this. I think he needs to get to 5 to kill Elspeth. So there's a lot of dinosaurs that could get him there. Oh, so this guy's the trophy. This guy's won an arena, right? To have that trophy? He's run an arena direct, I think. Palani's Hatcher. Other dinos have haste. When this creature enters... Okay. So this thing's going to get to 5 then. We'll take it out on the way out then. So Elspeth will go down here. And he'll get a 3/3 Dinosaur. I think we take 3 here and leave 1 token up. Because that way we can trade into Palani's Hatcher next turn. Let's see. Nope. Where Maze Mind Tome is so useful, because we can just keep sculpting. That's a great draw. So this is at the beginning of combat, so we probably remove this. I suppose we can remove it this turn. There's no reason we can't. I want to High Noon him too. Yeah, alright. We'll remove it this turn. And we'll commit to chump blocking. We just got to play the slow game here. Heaven of Souls. It looks like this guy's just in Gruul. He might be in white. That could be a problem. That thing is just so massive. It's going to be a tough thing to jump block. Alright, because he's playing this, I think I'm going to keep all my tokens. And we're going to tick up Mace Mind Tone, I think. This thing will... I can't chump block this thing. And we need answers. Seam Rip, hey? Does this thing have Defender? No. Alright. So we'll just Seam Rip the token. Tap land. And go to combat. Okay, here's the 5-mana 8/8 Trample. That is going to be tough to beat. We'll draw a card. We find a Get Lost. Oh, that's really unfortunate for him. Sure thing. We just need... We're 1 Caretaker's Talent away from winning the game here, I think. Because High Noon presents 5 damage. See if he blocks. He probably won't, yeah. I could play the second High Noon, but I think what I'd rather do is flip it. So, like, I'll just drop the High Noon and deal 5 to him on his end step. So I won't play Windcrag Siege, I think. I think we'll just chill on this. So High Noon will sacrifice on his end step. He's just going to scoop it up. Alright. GG. Alright, on the draw again. We can keep this hand. Once again, we've got lots of sculpting tools. Our opponent has a Sarkhan avatar, which if I'm continuing the trend of stereotyping my opponents, he's going to be aggro. Yep. Every Sarkhan, every Pinkie Pie. You can pick them, honestly. Alright, well, we drew a mountain, so that means I'll make this for white instead. I was going to open with Citadel, but make it red. Okay, so he's playing Goblins. Incredible. So, if we draw a Star Cage, I think we're good. So let's go find it. Connecting the dots. Sure. I think that gives him less... Yeah, he gets less stacks on this because he sacrificed instead of just attacking. I guess he wanted the damage from the goblin. No, I think we just need to hunt for Star Cage here, so we'll just chill. That land base there is cooking him right now. Alright. This is 3 mana? Yeah, that's cool. Getting value for him, that's for sure. We don't want to get lost. So he's at max speed, so he can give everything haste. Or he can give a creature haste, and he's got a bunch of colorless mana. Alright, we are looking for a Star Cage. United Battlefront. I would love to keep that, but we don't have the 4th land, so I have to bin it. Because that's also likely to help us find the Star Cage. This could be a pretty dangerous turn. Oh. Okay. That's pretty good. That's gonna draw him so many cards, what the hell? I think it might be too late for us here. If we don't draw a proactive... Yeah, alright. I think we're dunsies here. He's got a full hand. And another turn. Yeah, alright. Well, he's got us there. Okay, so to beat this opponent, we take 2 Elspeths out, 2 Bazes in. Star Cage stays in. Seam Rip stays in. Get Lost has less use here as just High Noon. Actually, no, he's jamming a lot of creatures. Maze Mind Tome goes out for Day of Judgment. Ultima is not as good in this matchup because you getting to 5 mana is pretty tough. But Authority of the Consoles is where it's at for sure. And then we got 1 cut to make. It's probably Get Lost. That's probably 1 High Noon, actually. We're not going to win with the burn. Alright, we'll run with this. United Battlefront hand, 3 tap lands. We do have Carrot Cake and a Surveil, so I'm going to keep this. This could be ambitious. But we have a lot of ways to control what we draw here. The Grease Wrench Goblin, eh? Fountain Port, no thanks. He kept a 1 land hand. What a true aggro player. We'll swing, because we can make another bunny. Hits his 1-drop. We'll wait for him to attack. He's just going to chill. Alright, well, here's another rabbit. No. We already got our turn 4 land. Authority of the Consoles. I'm going to do a slow play, I think. So I'll play Authority, see how he responds to this. He might just scoop on this. Nope, he's not. Because that shuts down Krenko. And Windcrag Siege. And I'll just chill. We don't attack with any bunny here because he's going to use the Firebrand to swap one so he can... Or to trade one. Yeah, okay. He's cooked. He scoops it up because he kept a one-land hand and didn't draw. Bit of a lame way to win, but... Let's see if game 3's any better. Now he knows I run Authority of the Consuls. I reckon this guy runs Screaming Nemesis in his sideboard. There's no way he can't help himself. Unless he's that dedicated to the Goblins. See, the nice thing is we can find Authority with United Battlefront here. And Star Cage. Like, it's our best card in the deck by miles. And since we have Beza, I think we have a lot of ways to overcome super aggressive go wide aggro. We just gotta find them. Alright, Star Cage in the opener. I think we keep. Authority on turn 1? I think we do it. We take the shock because it's just that good. Impact Tremors. Sure, buddy. So Impact Tremors gets cancelled out by Authority of the Consuls here. We'll Surveil. We'll keep Get Lost. Just so that we can remove a 3-drop Goblin if he decides to go that route. Oh, okay. This could be interesting. I'm gonna go Windcrag Siege, because this life gain will be a problem for him, I suspect. Alright, so that's a 4-drop Goblin. That creates 2 rats. So we take a lot here. Ouch. So we have to Get Lost the Gutter Dweller this turn, I think. We can't really comfortably block that thing. Does this thing have an ability? Beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a creature, put a 1/1 counter, and exile top card. Okay, yeah, now this thing's gotta go. That can't be allowed to happen. And we can't attack. We need to keep the Goblin to block here. Land? A Braid. Well, he doesn't realize he needed that, I think. So we just block the 2/2 to minimize the damage we'll take. Carrot Cake. That's a pretty good card to see here. Alright. We'll swing with the Goblin, because we're going to shock ourselves this turn, I think. Because we want to play Caretaker's Talent into Carrot Cake. Is Seamrip gonna... Oh, Seamrip can hit Impact Tremors, so we're pretty happy to keep that. So, this is going to be a pretty pivotal turn here. Ross is Tunnel Grinder, so we're not getting Impact Tremors out of the game, hopefully. Oh, he had only lands. Holy hell. We want him to go to combat here. Grease Wrench Goblin. So we take 1 total. Yeah, this Authority of the Consuls is definitely saving our butt here. He can't activate the Firebrand this turn. We'll block the 2 damage. Take 2. Here's a lifelink Goblin. Day of Judgment, hey? Okay, we drew a few interesting cards here. So Ishgard definitely comes down as a land this turn, because next turn we're going to need the mana. Seam Rip almost certainly comes down. I think this is our Stark Age turn. I think this being our Stark Age turn gets us the highest win rate, I think. Like, it plays around the most things. So Stark Age comes down here. See what our opponent does. And I think we cast Seam Rip, targeting one of the Impact Tremors just to cancel out the damage. And we'll chill. So we're hanging in there. Devoted Duelist. Okay, sure. Let's see if he has a... Does not have a second spell. Armencat Raceway is useless because of Authority of the Consuls. We drew your Beezer at a pretty pivotal moment. So we could Lightning Helix Beezer this turn. I kind of like that. See what opponent does here. And I think Beezer will be lights out for him, honestly. We're going to gain too much life here, I think. He's not scooping, so he sees a way forward. Grease Wrench Goblin. So we can use that ability immediately since it's not a tap. Authority's going to hose Impact Tremors, though. Discards a land. So High Noon here shuts off Tunnel Grinder as well. Do we just go for... Yeah, I think we do. So Caretaker's Talent targets the non-lifelink one. Because that way, if he removes it, we still have a lifelink creature to attack with. And I think we just start swinging for the fences here. So he's down to 10. Oh, sorry, he's down to 6. We have Lightning Helix in hand. We're at 7 in life. I think we have him here. Goblin Surprise, hey? We got a blocker and a Lightning Helix in hand. I don't think that's enough for him. So I'm not going to use the Helix. I'm going to save it as a burn spell. To see if he tries to take a greedy block. I think he knows he's cooked here, though. Yeah. I'm just going straight to combat. GG, buddy. Okay. Yeah, keepable. So here I am a few days later. It's a brand new season, and this is exactly why I'm doing this. We were running out of VV players to farm. I was going to wait to the new season to see if I could farm a Cauldron matchup, just to show the capability of this deck. So, I don't think we'll have this enter untapped, because it's not like we can really do anything. Yeah, we got High Noon in the opening hand. Opponent is on Izzet, I think. We're going to find out. Well, that's Soul Cauldron, so I'll say almost certainly they're on it. And look, I think we'll just YOLO send a High Noon here, because really, what are they going to do? So High Noon comes down, sets the table here. We've got Seam Rip to deal with the Cauldron if we need to. Opponent doesn't seem to be hitting their color. Like, they're not hitting blue. They only need a mountain or an island to activate that too. But if that's the case, I'll go to them then. Okay, they're holding priority for something. I don't think Cauldron has a valid target. Oh, and we just clicked the wrong one. Alright, well, you just gotta give them an advantage, you know? I got too excited. Okay, well, opponent is clearly brooking anyway. Oh, dude. Lands, am I right? Tell me about it. Alright, so this time we'll select the right one. I literally just paid 3 mana, do nothing. But it's fine, because, you know, my opponent is struggling to hit what they need. Oh, he does not have any cards he can cast without blue, apparently. So I guess we just go for it now. Is he going to try and remove it? So I'll just sacrifice this then. And I might as well draw a card off of it. Cool. That's turn. Alright, so he's got blue mana now. The game officially starts now, and he hits us with a VV. So this is where High Noon comes in pretty valuable. We can safely remove this VV. Next turn, he can't activate the Cauldron and cast another spell with the VV mana, because he'll have to play a creature to buff it. If that doesn't make sense, I'll show shortly what I mean by that. But we'll put a land into play. Look, this is probably going to be High Noon, I reckon. So we'll Lightning Helix here. Our opponent's probably going to be happy to see this, because VV goes to the graveyard when we do this. Or not. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That's a little embarrassing. Clearly, I'm a bit rusty. So I've done everything in my power to apparently give my opponent a way back into the game. Funny enough. Alright. So we have to use a Get Lost here. I think I was so blown away by... Oh god. Alright, so Winter Night Stories comes down. Opponent won't actually be able to cast another spell because of High Noon. So even if I, like, hilariously misplay 2 turns, we still have massive advantage. So you can clearly see I haven't played Magic for 2 days. We can block with a fish if we want to. I'm just going to remove this. Alright, so he has VV in the grave now. We'll just go on the swing. My game is lagging. And we just chill. I could play Pinnacle Starcage and scoop up those map tokens too, potentially. I think I would rather make him use the Soul Cauldron and scoop up VV. Okay. Interesting. So if we do that, we have 7 mana. Doing that will put us down to 2. So I think we do bin High Noon here and deal 5 to him, and we can play the next one the following turn if we want to. We don't care about the tapped fish, to be honest. Sure. He's very scared of us doing that again. So he'll get 1 VV turn here. It's a Proph's Eidetic Memory. Alright. He needs a creature, though, to make any of this work. There's Tersa. Tersa's not going to discard and draw anything. That's weird. Ah, okay, so he's going to do that. I mean, we're still living this. He's used the Tersa mana, so he needs to play another creature and buff it up. There's FOMO. Will he buff it? Or we'll go to combat with the Tersa. Alright, so he wants to just swing at me for 9. That's fine. So we just take the damage here. And we should stabilize immediately. So we'll sack the Goblin, because we're going to Star Cage this turn. Here's a Goblin. Man, if we had the second one right now. We'll swing and he'll 1. He's just going to let that through. I guess he doesn't really know what I'm going to do. So he's a bit worried. We'll use the Fountain Port colorless mana here. So Star Cage comes down, hoovers up, Cauldron, and a bunch of other annoying things. We'll cast Seam Repair. Eat the Prophecy-Eidetic Memory. I think we shock ourselves here as well. Because he has these 2 Soulstone Sanctuaries. So I don't think we can High Noon him yet this turn. We have to play for life. Caretaker's Talent, hey? I think we can keep that. And we pass here. So even if he has a removal spell, we should be fine. That's most of his mana already. Takes away one of his Winter Night Stories. We'll just sack the Carrot Cake. And we'll just double block. No, actually, we're going to take the 3. I think he can cast 1... Yeah, okay. So I think he could have cast Winter Night Stories there, if he harmonized. We'll make a token copy. Copy the Goblin. That'll draw us another card. We get another Star Cage. I don't think that's going to be immediately useful. And I think we'll just chill. So we won't attack. The 1 lifelink will suck up. Like, will be offset by the extra damage I soak up here. He'll probably just, yeah, swing with the next one. Do we want to take the Mako out if he gives us the opportunity? I think we do. Nah, he doesn't want to swing with it. One, two, three. And we'll sack and draw. Hit a Fountain Port, okay. Man, having that extra token around would be so useful here. So he's going to discard 2. Mako is a 3/3 now. So we're just playing for time, stalling him out. Star Cage comes down as well here. And clears out his board. So we are going to go to combat and swing. He's going to let us have it. We'll throw down Star Cage using... We gotta always make sure to tap Fountain Port. This will hoover up his lands as well. And I think we just play Sunken Citadel. We don't have the mana to be able to... Oh, I suppose we could double. So we use 1 Fountain Port to make the blocker, and then the next to sacrifice the blocker. I guess we do it that way. There's Soul Cauldron. That's his spell for the turn. I guess he can give those abilities to Tersa. Alright. I feel like that's a waste. It's an 11/11, and I just block with a fish. Doesn't matter what, like, he can't cast that, is the other thing. So normally that would be pretty rotten luck for me, but because he's already cast a spell this turn, he can't use Into the Flood more. And now we'll sacrifice it. So now I think we're in a pretty good position here. He can keep having this creature, but we can just keep doing this to him. We would like another good play, though. Okay. Lightning Helix. Not exactly what we want. We can activate Pinnacle Starcage now, actually. Oh, he sees the writing on the wall, I guess. Well, no game 2, I guess. He fucking rage scooped. Oh my god. Alright, well, first points in the new season is on Izzet Cauldron's hands. I'm very happy to have that. Oh, it's the MTG Arena player. Alright. We're on the play. Very happy to have that hand. Oh, please be Izzet. Dude, I really want to High Noon him. If this is an Izzet player. Island, okay. Don't be Dimir. Oh, it's Dimir. Okay, well, High Noon is so much worse against Dimir. But it's not unworkable. We'll get a Carrot Cake down. We'll look for a land. Okay, that's not a land. So, the key to beating Dimir is to just make a ton of tokens, if you can. Finds the Phantom Interference. He's going to keep that on top. Okay. Does that mean he's not playing Kaito next turn? I would very much like to find Tragic Trajectory. Sure. Okay. Well, it was my hope that we would have Kaito. Oh, we would have a land this turn. But apparently not. So I'll just drop a Maze Mind Tome. Call it a day. Because that would have been an awesome turn to get Caretaker's Talon in. Is it Kaito time? It's not Kaito time. And we'll just look for a land then. If he's going to play slow, then I'm happy to oblige. He might be thinking about Tide Binding this. We'll leave that on top. And we'll draw. And we won't play anything, because he's just going to counter whatever we play. We'll just activate an ability. We want him to tap out if we can. Hopefully this is an Enduring Curiosity turn for him. He's letting it through. Azure Beastbinder. Alright. And we'll draw a card. I'll keep that on top. We'll just chill. We have to play slow here. He's not coming at us super fast. So we'll see which one he hits here. He can only neuter one of these. Alright. We'll just go to blockers. We'll go to damage. He's going to let us have this, apparently. So I can draw a card with Maze Mind Tome here, or I can Lightning Helix and see if I can bait out a counter spell. I think we'll draw, because I can Lightning Helix next turn too. We'll just take value. We're not being rushed down. I have to discard a card this turn, sadly. We'll probably just discard a High Noon. Yeah, we'll just pass. So we'll discard High Noon here. Flood Pitch Drowner comes down. I'm going to go for the Lightning Helix here. We won't need to discard, and we can stop the counterspell. I think I'm pretty happy to pay the 2 if he tries to get me with it. Because he really wants to shut off my Carrot Cake here. So we'll do that. So he can deal 4. If he Kaitos, we have Get Lost now. It's not the end of the world. He still doesn't have Enduring Curiosity. Alright, we'll Maze Mind Tome here. See if he has Tidebinder for this. He doesn't. Alright, cool. Fountain Port it is. We'll play Caretaker's Talent, which also plays into the usual counterspell, and we'll pass. So here's the thing, we can take beatings against Dimir because we do gain a ton of life in this deck. Alright, Carrot Cake comes down. Does he have a Tidebinder to stop this? He does not. Seam Rip we'll leave on top, because we can draw that and use that to answer the Siren gracefully. Long Goodbye. We're fine with that. We'll go back up to 17. Just play the tap land. So we gotta make sure the auto tapper doesn't screw us over here. I'll take the Seam Rip, and I'm gonna target Spyglass Siren with it. We can just play super slow against this guy, I think. We'll just activate Fountain Port on his end step. Dimir really struggles when your opponent can do this to it. Because if we activate Fountain Port, we make a fish that can kill the Flood Pit's Drowner, and we draw with Caretaker's Talent. Even if he has removal, it's still a really good transaction for us. I reckon I will bait him to have removal here if I can. He doesn't even want to take it, so we'll just draw a card for free then. Alright, do we go for United Battlefront now? I think we do. We can pretty safely get this in. And we hit only a High Noon. It's not really going to functionally do anything for us, sadly. We can draw a card with Caretaker's Talent, though. He chooses to remove it, I think. Alright, sure thing. So he's going to get some damage in here. So we'll remove Curiosity. He's going to get a card out of this, but that's just how it goes. More importantly, we shave some damage off of him. I think we get Elspeth down now if we can. If he leaves Cecil on top after both these map tokens, that would be interesting. Okay. Let's slam down Elspeth, I think, here. So he needs to have 3 steps ahead or Disdainful Stroke to stop this. Did a Triumph, eh? Alright. I'll draw a card. Alright, so we're going to need to hit a good United Battlefront, I think, to survive here. We just block whichever one has the higher power here. Both the same. Alright, sure. He'll draw a card. Cecil comes down. Alrighty, United Battlefront. Do your thing, buddy. I'm counting on you. Oh, fantastic. I think we go Star Cage and Carrot Cake here. So Carrot Cake will get eaten up, but we can order the triggers to avoid losing the rabbit here. So we want Pinnacle Starcage to do its thing first. And we'll put that to the bottom. Excellent. Alright, this is a good position for us to be in now. And we'll pass. Preacher, sure thing. So Preacher's going to give him cards too. What I think I'll do is I'll sack High Noon to kill it. So that we can start pushing damage as well. Oh, Tidebinder's here. Alright. I think that changes what I do here. So we can level up the talent here, which I have a feeling is going to be the play we need to make. Is it? No, because I can kill Tidebinder regardless. So I think I let the Preacher deal 2 damage to me here. Because getting Windcrag Siege down and then buffing my creatures is going to be really valuable. Alternatively, now we can get a High Noon in safely. I think we will then. This also freezes him when he draws cards. Because he's going to get a few here. We'll double block the Tidebinder. Take 2. He draws a card. He can only play 1 card this turn though because of High Noon. Sigeglass Siren here. Alright. Nice, that's a great draw. We'll go to combat, swing for 3 with lifelink. Dude's gonna take the damage. So our spell for the turn. So we're gonna use 2 colorless here on Fountain Port. Unfortunately, I don't have the mana to do this without taking a little damage, it looks like. That's frustrating. So I wanted to use Caretaker's talent to make a token. I guess I won't be able to do that. No, I think I will. I'm going to shock myself either way. I think I survive, regardless. So we go the shock. So I needed to shock myself there to be able to hold up Lightning Helix mana. So he's going to draw another card here at least. We'll remove Spyglass Siren now if we can. And then we block the Preacher. Another Preacher, sure thing. So I'm pretty sure now we're just going to run over the top of him with value. Because we're going to make this a 5/5 with lifelink now. Holy lands. Okay, we do not need this many Fountain Ports games. Stop trying to keep them. Yep, and he knows he's done. So I'm going to just start going over the top of him because of that. Alright, in this matchup, we want to cut Elspeth. As good as she is, he has already shown he runs Bitter Triumph, so the card we want to run is White Overlord instead. White Overlord is our absolute bread and butter in this matchup. We'll cut Maze Mind Tome for a Baser. We can run Sweepers. I think we do want to swap out Pinnacle Star Cage and a United Battlefront here for Day of Judgment. And probably one Ultimate. Nah, we'll run 2. Just because sweeping this deck is so important. Oh, High Noon actually goes out. I should not forget that. We probably do want Pinnacle Star Cage then. Nah. What's life not for living? And Banishing Light, I think. We got one cut we need to make. I think it will be a Lightning Helix. No, it should be a Seam Rip. And then that'll get us there. Yeah, so again, to beat Dimir, just go wide. That's the way. Dimir is really good 1-for-1 answers. Which is why this deck really feasts on the fact it runs spot removal and doesn't really have a good way to deal with a lot of creatures. Particularly like those lifelink goblins. Those cards make this deck make it a nightmare. Sunken Citadel getting in early is really great because we have Fountain Port too. We've got a Lightning Helix so we can beat his... Oh, there we go, we're getting battered. So Helix probably goes here, right? Alright, that's fair then. So we'll just shock this... Oh, sorry, we'll just have this enter tapped. Spyglass Siren, hey? Which I guess means he's holding Phantom Interference. I don't need to play a card here. Like, Phantom Interference, I think I'd rather just play around Flood Pit's Drowner. So, which is what holding Fountain Port up does for me. Alright, so he's going for value here. I can't block these, he's going to get 2 cards. But I can Banishing Light that Enduring Curiosity. And I'm fairly certain he doesn't really have a graceful way to remove that card. We'll just swing for 1. Baser will probably come in big handy here. Is he just going to hold up mana? He would have played Curiosity there if he had it. This guy's holding spot removal, I reckon. And he's just like, I don't want to remove a fish. But he's not going to really get better targets. Yeah, we'll just hit this. So Caretaker's Talent hits the battlefield safely. We will not use it to rank up the fish, because I have a sneaking suspicion. I'm just going to pass, actually. We want to use it to block if we can. I have a sneaking suspicion he is got a flash creature that could just eat the fish. We'll take it. Another cat. Okay, if he doesn't hit a land drop, we're pretty happy here. Tragic Trajectory, sure thing. We'll just draw a card with this then. So Baser is going to get some great value here. Baser. One of them. Alright, here's Baser. We'll get the full Monty here. That's so good for me. And we'll use the Seam Rip to take back my Lightning Helix. So I reckon he has a good removal spell for Baser. Like, he doesn't cut his removal. He wanted that shock land. Alright. Shoot the Sheriff. This guy runs a lot of varied removal. Long Goodbye, Bitter Triumph, and Shoot the Sheriff. Has he got 3 removal spells in his hand? Holy moly. Okay, so he's not got a counter spell. Or he just doesn't care. So we'll take a bit more damage. So I think I Overlord this turn. I need to take care not to use my red mana source here. Nice. And I'm just going to Lightning Helix this. I don't want to deal with counter magic. So now we're in a pretty good position here. We got White Overlord onto the battlefield. We've got blockers. Elegy Acolyte. Yeah, so we've come in at just the right moment here. We can play another Baser. Nah. Alright, United Battlefront. Let's see what you got, buddy. We hit only a Carrot Cake. I need to stop hitting one target, please. We'll draw the land. We can play it next turn. It's another red source as well. Oh, no, we can play it this turn. What am I saying? And I think I just straight up remove the Acolyte immediately. This will be another Baser turn, I think. Alright, so he hits Duress. He's going to buff this up with like some vain hope that I'm not going to block it, but I will. There's no world I don't block this. Beastbinder. And we're going to lose a card to Duress, but that's fine, because he can't take the Overlord or Baser. He probably hits United Battlefront here. Or maybe Windcrag Siege, because it's just in my hand. I feel like hitting Care... Ah, that's a mistake. There's no world hitting Caretaker's Talent there is correct. Alright, let's see you beat this. That's so much value. Alright, here's Windcrag Siege. Has he got the counterspell for it? Because we have another one ready to go. Flash Freeze. Red or green spell. Okay, that's interesting. Enters tapped. I'm not really interested in casting another spell this turn. I could have copied the Flyer, actually, and used it to trade into the Siren with the... But I guess this is how it'll be. What's he hit? I guess Baser. Does he turn off the Carrot Cake? We got another Overlord anyway, so I'm not too bothered by needing to protect. Alright. Let's see if he has an answer to hardcast United Battlefront here. Oh my god, what a whiff. I think we get rid of the Flyer. We'll make a copy of a fish now. See if he removes it. Nope. What up, Lightning Helix? And I'll just zap the Beastbinder. I think we're in a pretty commanding position here. Yeah, he packs it up. GG's, buddy. Well, there we go. Izzet Cauldron and Dimir on the fresh new ladder. How did I know? This is absolutely the right kind of deck to climb with, I feel.